Okay, right. What I'm going to be talking about is creating renders and render layers for this scene that Camille has modeled and Guled has tracked. And yeah, I did the HDR, and now we're just going to take it from bit of lighting in here, and then we're gonna we're gonna set up all the renders and try and get the render layers out. And we've had really a lot of difficulty with it. You know, the textures haven't been working. I have to show you how we sorted that out. And then the layers have been really difficult. We've been getting no outputs, no results, going around in circles. And we're going to be working in the hypershade, as Camille has taught me that I hate that thing. But yeah, so literally, we're just going to try and see if this works. This is my second attempt of doing this. Actually, we just got to test this out. Hopefully it does work and it'll help work for you, whoever. And anyway, yeah, it's our scene. Simple, one camera in there, HDR wraparound, image-based lighting. And this is all our tree. This is our tree. Use background, having problems with that as well. You know, it would be the same if we weren't having problems. All our little bushes and whatnot. But I'm thinking we're just going to focus on one select group. Because they've all got these little groups, see. I think we should just select on one group. We'll get that working, and then, you know, if I want to afterwards, we'll go through the rest and see if anything else fucks up. Even if the first group works. So I'm just going to hide these, Control H, get rid of Holly, all of this, right. Just this little lot, because it'll still show if the use background shade is working and whatnot, if the textures are working, because all the textures are a bit of a fuckeries. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty much that. And like I said, the textures are fuckeries. They are, although they are really nice to look at, but yeah, they just don't want to fucking render because they were MIA material X's. They didn't have the pass upgrade, so we have to show you how to do that and whatnot. But I'm talking, we'll go for it. At the moment, I just wanted to take a render in here, and I very much doubt it'll be quick. You know, I think we're on 2 for max sampling. We've got a final gather on. Oh, we still got our background, our back plate there, still in there. We don't want that. But at the end of the day, it should be quicker, the fact that we haven't got so much geometry in there. And my computer is a bit dead these days, but all I'm going to say is that I usually turn down the quality when yeah, I turn down the quality so that we'll get quicker renders, and then it gives me a chance to do stuff quickly. I could already see, well, you might be able to see the problem with this use background shader. You see this line here? There, look. Now we'll have to sort that in a post. So you can see that they're all, it's nice, it's working well. It's not too, the render's not too bad, but we would want to make it quicker. I don't want to be sitting here for hours. Okay. Okay, it's just doing the information there. Come on, fix up. This is the worst bit, it's just waiting for this bullshit. Come on, you got one little square here. Okay, 1 minute 40. We'll save that picture. So that's the original. Okay. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna change these to TIFFs. Keep it that way at the moment. We'll keep the HD. I usually even turn that down. But just for the size reasons, if you start changing the film, it can cause a few problems. Just turn the sampling down. I just put it to 0. At the end of the day, if things doesn't look right or it could look better, I will turn them up so that I can then see where I'm going wrong. Alright, and this tree was bugging me. So what we're just gonna do, we're just gonna scale it down. Yeah, just keep it. Just really want to get it. These ones down a bit. Might change the shape, but at the end of the day, it's not the worst thing in the world. That's okay, having them there is not too bad. Okay. So we've done that, so we've moved them. Let's just setting all the scenes out. Render settings will stay the same before we start. We need to, we don't need the image background there anymore. So quickly change that. RGBA to none. There's our image plane. It's not going to be there anymore. Okay. We need a light. Direction light. We don't need it that intense. I'd say. Oh, we'll keep it on 1. You know what? Let's actually do it properly. Let's see what it looks like. Well, first of all, we need to see it. Come on, I'm scaling you, homie. Anyway, let's just scale it up. Oh well, shit, fucking around. Scale it up. There it is. Okay. There we go. The fucking thing comes up now. Right. Bam. Oh, I want it minus 90. It was a flat day. Flat amount of fucking sun. Oh, when we looked in the HDR, you can see it's just grey, very flat, and that's what this will do. So we've got light in this will, and we want it to emit diffuse. We want to see it, so we save that. We're just going to give this a render now, and we'll see how the lighting affects it. And instead of the, this is another thing showing in the background, and this is the actual HDR. You know, so we turned the image plane off, and now we've just got the HDR instead. But obviously, this isn't good. At the end of the day, it doesn't mean that much. It's just so that we can see how the diffuse is acting up. The renders are still taking a while. It's a little bit quicker. There you go, it's not too bad. I'll cut a minute off. So it's made it a lot brighter, I think. Let's just have a little comparison. Yeah, look how much brighter it's made it. And to be honest, this is where you got to start looking. These are too dark in the first place. Look at all these orange, and they're quite pale pastel colours compared to this rich green here. But here's, you know, it's not much difference, to be honest. But I think it's working. I don't know about this tree. I might have to sort that out. Anyway, so the light's in there. That's quickly. That's not the worst thing. This could be re-rendered. This could be changed and whatnot. But that's the lighting. Now what we've got to do? We've got to select this background. Oh shit! We've got to select this image-based lighting sphere. We're just gonna go to the attribute editor. See, this is where you would put in the HDR. It's just a TIFF that we had to stitch together. What we need to do is actually look at the render stats for the shape. There they are. They'll be in the shape one. And we want to turn the primary visibility off. So then it will still be interacting with the scene and giving indirect lighting, but it will not be visible whatsoever in the renders. Simple, right? Okay. Next one, hypershade. And the reason we're going on hypershade is when I said about the textures of what causes difficulty, this is what we got to look at. All these have been man-made in a computer. But yeah, this is what we need to do. We need to upgrade the shader to make them visible in the passes, because at the moment these are just MIA material X's, and I don't understand why there's differences between them. But we got to do this to all of them. Even though I'm not using all these because these are for the other plants. I just want to do them so I have no excuses for why something's not coming up in the renders, or if we do it now, they're all here, they're all been done, all upgraded. Obviously you don't need to upgrade the original Lambert, the original textures, but just for the rest we need to. Okay, last one I reckon. Yeah, because this is a used background shade. I'll just have a little peek. Little peek. Come on, no. Little peek. There's a little peek. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need this. Anyway, that's all we need to do. Now they'll be visible in the passes. That took us ages just to figure that out. But, yeah, we're students. Anyway. Okay. Next step. Lighting has been set up. The textures are ready. And now we need to just go through each render layer. So this is our render layers. Obviously we have nothing so far. And we need to start, I kind of start with an empty layer. Just so that it's easier for me to go through things. If I've got an empty layer, I know what's going in and I know what's coming out. So first thing we're going to look at is the color passes. So I need that careful. So color pass. And well, what do we need in the color pass? You know, we don't need the ground. Yes, we do. No, we don't. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But we need this tree trunk. Yes, we do. Anyway, go online. We need that. Add it in there. Add selected. Shadow ground. We'll add it in there. Because the reason why is that we need this here so that it will still use the background shader to separate, like to block out these ferns that surround behind the tree, because technically they shouldn't be seen anyway. That tree of the real life tree in the live action should be blocking out our CG models. So we need lights in there as well, indirect and direct. Yep, they're in there, you can see that. And there's one thing I just want to quickly say, is that the master layer is an override. Let me put it this way, the master layer, all the render settings that you change, all this is put into the next layer. So because we've put this as 0, this color passes settings will have adaptive sampling at the max sample level of 0. But if I change this, it would change it here as well. But that's what I just wanted to let you know. So whenever you're gonna set your scene up for a final render, you'll do it in the master layer, even though you're not technically gonna render it. You're gonna render all the other layers. But anyway, back to the color pass. So we've got all our objects in here. We've got our light sources and whatnot. Just going to check. You go to the mask layer. Like I said, it's the override of whatever happens in the color pass. And just wanted to check. It's going to emit diffuse and it's going to emit a specular. And the shadows, we do need shadows. We don't use depth map though. We use ray trace. Just gonna again, render settings. We want to look at the ray tracing. Oh yeah, look at that. big. We haven't got any real reflections there, but we have refractions, yes. But this is probably what Camille has touched. Maybe, I'm not too sure, sorry Camille if you haven't. But this could be down to the leaves working or something. But at the moment, we don't need 10 refractions, we don't need 10 reflections. Nothing's so shiny in here. There's no mirrors or whatnot. The shadows, I'm making these back to 3 because that's what I gave them myself. And this will include on our render time. So maximum number of recursions of tracing reflections. Maximum overall number of recursions for ray tracing. We'll leave it for now. I'm not gonna lie, I don't wanna fuck something else up because it's the most hardest bloody project I've worked on for rendering. But anyway, let's go back to the colour pass. I've gone off on one. We've turned the ray tracing on. We don't need the ray tracing in here. So what we'll do, we'll go to our. Right, I'm looking sharp. Just gonna use a layer override. No, we don't need shadows here. We just need it for the diffuse. That's set up. We should be set up. Just gotta go to the render settings. We need to go to the passes, create passes, and we need a camera depth, a diffuse, indirect, and a specular. Okay. And we assign them to that layer, and that is pretty much it for that. Whoops. What we gotta do, I'm gonna tell you now. You just gotta double click on each of these. And you can see here number of channels. For camera depth, it's completely different. But for diffuse, we need to put it to 4 channels so we get our alpha channel. Specular, 4 channels. Indirect, 4 channels. And that's the color layer done. Should be fine. I don't see why not. And the only bad thing, I'm working on a Mac. If you have a PC and you render, you can see the let's try. It's worked once for me before, and I do not know how. So we're just gonna render this. Yeah, basically, if you have a PC, you have the privilege of being able to look at your passes after a complete render is done. So once this is completed, I'll show you how you can locate it. The lighting could be tweaked so much easier than the rendering, so I'll try to focus on the rendering, spend more time on that. 48 seconds, yeah, that looks quite nice. Go to the alpha. Yeah, this horrible bullshit here, which shouldn't be. But we've been having this problem. I really don't know what this ring is about. But the alpha's there. Okay? So you would go file, load render pass, and you would select what pass you would want to see. So say I want to see the diffuse. It used to be that a nice little box would come up. I can't remember what they call it, but it doesn't happen in there at all. The other way I have to do it, I have to go in my folders and actually open the render of the temporary folders and blah 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 blah. But I should really do that, and I will. I should do it so that we can see if there's any problems. Because if I rush ahead, it's not going to be happening. But it depends if I know where they're going to come up. Because sometimes they don't like going in the right place. Oh, nice. Right, here we go. TMP. Oh, I don't think that's me. Oh no, that's not us. See, I can't even find. When was this made? Today? Oh, that's us. This is it. What's that? That's the specular. What's that? That's the indirect. There's our diffuse. And there's our depth. I think that looks quite. They've come out. At least something's come out. That's good. To be honest, we won't know more about it unless it's in After Effects. Tell you what, just for the record, I'm gonna hold that so we've got it. Okay. Color pass done. Ticked off. Ticked off of our list. We've got the diffuse, indirect, depth, and specular all in there. Color map. Yep. Gonna be another dodgy fucker. I'm not gonna, Joe. I'm gonna do the good. Oh shit! I didn't mean to close it. I'm gonna. Oh shit! I'm opening the wrong one. All right. Yeah. Okay. There they are. Okay, we can close this one though. Save that. Right. Let's do ambient. No, let's do the motion vector. I know that one works. We need everything in the scene. Everything we need. Well, we need the geometry. So, we need the. No, we don't. Don't need that. We need the shadow ground and the fern light. Bam. Motion vector, homie. Okay. There's a pass we need to do. Yeah, 2D motion vector. Comes up with a weird, funky name. Add it in there. We can rename it. But we need to. If you see here, you have no choice. It's free. And that's it. So we just call it motion vector. Just for keep's sake. You can see it says 32-bit float, right? We're not working in 32-bit float, so we need to change that. And that is the frame buffer, and it's in quality. See, here it is, down here at the bottom. See, we're working in RGBA, so we need to create a layer override so it matches. There you go, normal 3 times 32-bit. Bam! And we also need to, oh, no, this is it, create a layer override here, because they need to be an open EXR. That's it, that's the motion vector. Easy as, simple, done, took me 2 minutes. Next layer, ambient occlusion of the ground. We're going to do first. That's the thing, we need to do ground, and pretty much, I don't know why I did that, let's just delete that. Delete layer. Okay, we're in the ambient ground. So let's go back to our master layer. What do we need for an ambient occlusion? We don't need no lights, we don't need even final gather, we don't need none of that. We just need our geometry, because it's all about our geometry. Okay, so our problem. Okay, render settings, quality. We got indirect. I'll tell you what we're going to do here. We're going to create a layer override, and we're going to turn off final gather because it takes up a little bit more time, so it will be less rendering. Features. See there, that's good. Ambient occlusion. Make the layer override. Alright, whatever, fuck you, just don't want me to right click you. Can I right click here? I can right click on there. Why can't I right click on the feature? Oh, whatever. But basically, ambient occlusion, you've got to assign everything with a material override. And this material override. Oh shit. Object, let's select everything again. let's do cyanide material. It will not affect the color pass or the motion vector. It won't affect anything else. It's just going to be for this layer of AO ground. So what it is, we need a surface shader. There you are. Then we're just going to put the out color. We're going to plug in a mental ray. Well, there is a. Where are you? There's an ambient occlusion. There it is. MIB ambient occlusion. Bam. I use pre-op 32 samples. The max distance is the distance between the objects. So technically, there is not that much distance between our plants. And it's pretty much the distance between the floor, the plants. Ooh, sorry, man. The floor to the plants to the tree to the plants to the floor. And obviously, we're just going to look at the ground. We're going to have to do a little tweaking, but I'm going to say 2 for now. Just 2 units. The spread should be fine. We can check on that. But yeah, that's all they've applied. Right. Yeah. So what we want, because we're just looking at the ground, we don't want the ferns. We're going to have to select the ferns and open theirs and hide their. Well, get rid of them. We want them still to be interacting, like how the IBL was interacting with its indirect light. But instead of, because it's a group, we have to use display. No, I chat shit. Metal ray. There you go. We have to do it this way to hide it. So you create a layer override. You go to visible. Layer override. You want it no. So then they won't be seen, but they will still be interacting once more, like as we have. Because there is no. We could go individually to each plant. You go, look, there's one group of plants. Because there's not a lot here, we could just literally do that. So one group of plant, and then here, leaf shape, render stats, primary visibility. Could do this, but we'll see. Sometimes I've not been getting the right outcomes. So technically, right, we should just give it a render. And fingers crossed it's working so that I don't have to fucking repeat myself. And I don't even know what these are. But you can see that they're working on the ground. Where they're close to the ground, you see those dark spots. Don't know what these black lines are. But you can see it's working. I think this actually is where the plants are cutting through. But you can see there's the little way there. They meet the ground. Closer to the ground. Maybe a little bit too much spread. What we'll do, so we'll select that area. And see, if you get the good thing about the ambient occlusion, if you get it right once, all you got to do is copy the layer and reverse the. So we don't want to see the ground, but we want to see the ferns and whatnot. So it seems like this could be a little bit tighter, like wormholes. Now we'll save that, bam, and we'll bang that out. Okay. See, there's a lot more darkness. To be honest, it looked a bit better. I think it should be less. So, we'll save that one. Let's make it 0.5. We'll just render that section again. That's, I like that. I don't think that's too faint or whatnot. I think that looks quite nice. It's quite defined. I just want to know what these are. I'm going to actually get out of this. Go to the perspective. Let's go to the... Fuck off. What is this? Default material so I can see. There. Okay, that's the tree. There you go. Look at these interceptions. There are some interceptions. This is where what we are seeing in the ambient occlusion. There's the interceptions. Obviously, if it's the darker your hand is, say, just for example, you look at the table, you got a light above, your hand is very blurred, and there's quite faint. As your hand slowly gets closer and closer, it gets sharper and darker, and that's what ambient occlusion is. When two objects are close to one another, they will cast a shadow, and obviously these are cutting through. There's going to be a harsh shadow there, and that's what those black lines are about. But anyway, that's working. That's good. That's what I like to see. I'm kind of being naive because I know something that you don't. Because I know. I know that. Sorry about that. Just kind of dazed off. I know the textures are supposed to be causing problems. And sometimes what I do, just to help me out, I just go to passes, and I make an ambient occlusion pass. Just in case, because sometimes the master doesn't work. Just to make an ambient, do the same, we got to make it 4 channels. And whilst we're here, we'll actually go in to the settings of the, see that, use local settings. 64 rays is very high. Now I could put it the same as what I have, but this is all very, like this was 2. Just might have another chance. 0.5. We can leave it on 64 rays, but that just gives us 2 outcomes, you know, of ambient occlusion. But I think that's good enough. So we just got to copy this layer now, and we'll rename it ambient occlusion Ferns. And what do we have to do? We have to reverse. So we got to bring this back. We got to get rid of this and bring the ferns back. So if I click on the fern group, go to the attribute editor, mental rake, you see it's still there. We don't have to remove it, but if I just click there, it'll be fine. Because it just means it's overriding the layer of what's going on. Doesn't matter if it is, there you go. But we need to get this shadow group now. And it's exactly the same. That's what we just did before. We remove them. And that's it. That technically should be it. We'll save that again. We'll give it a render and we'll see now what we have. Right. Here's our problem. What I was talking to you about. The leaves aren't this, are they? These aren't the leaves that we had. Look at these. There's little strands. The transparency basically doesn't work here. These are leaves, the full leaves, without the transparency to make them small, thin, and whatnot. So, yeah, inclusion is working. I can see it is working okay. However, the texture is not. And this is where it will come down to either plugins in the Hypershade. But we'll come back to this. At least we've got it all set up. We've got an ambient occlusion now for the ferns and the grounds. But we're going to do the shadows, which is just going to be as bad. Which have the same problem really. So we're going to start a new layer. We're going to call it shadow. ground. Now, what do we need for the shadow ground? We need the shadow ground. We don't need the. We need our geometry and our lights. Right. Okay. Should be casting light. We can check what the light is doing. You know, the attribute editor. And there we go. Use ray trace shadows, and it should be working fine. I could have turned the final gather off because there is no need for it, but final gather is really just to make the image-based lighting work. But as you can see here, if we got any shadows, let's go to the ambient occlusion, and we do have shadows. You can see them there. So what have we got to do if we're just focusing on the ground? We need to make sure that these plants aren't visible. How do we do that? Same as the other way. Same as what we did for the ambient occlusion. Straight here, it's ready here for us. Create layer override. No. Save this. Let's just select this area. That's what we just need. Hopefully, there you go. That's what should be seen. There we go. That's nice. It's good. Well, that works. Now it comes down to the actual ferns, which is the difficult bit. Now, it's not about copying this layer to make the shadow. We just need to copy it. We're doing vice versa. So exactly how we did the same as the ambient occlusion. Just copied the layer third. Now obviously we need our ferns back. So like that. We've got them back. Ta-da! And now we need the shadow ground to be gone. We don't want that. So same as usual. That should be gone. And now I'm going to have a render. But it's going to be very hard to tell if we can see that the actual shadows are working. The texture's working and whatnot. You can see this is the alpha. If you use background shader, isn't there anymore. And there we go, there it is. So what we can do, what we've had, I have been noted down here, is a procedure that should make our textures work, our shadow textures. So we need the hypershade for this. Quite happy we've got these. We've got to come back to that ambient, the ambient occlusion. But for now, they are working. We need a new Lambert. Okay, new Lambert. Out transparency of the texture to the transparency of the Lambert. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Basically, what ferns we use? We use fern lights. We need to look at the fern light here, and we need to graph it. Now, in here is the texture. We need to find the main texture. Now, it's either U or are these the same? This is the front, and this is the back, right? Okay. Just keeps flashing me bullshit where I don't want it. But anyway, we need to connect to this. Here we go. We need to connect to this. Or was it this one? It's one of these two. I really do not know now. We need to. We'll allow a 2 in here. Okay. Got lambda 2 here. We need now out transparency of the texture. To the transparency there we go. To the transparency lambda. We now need a reverse node, which is in utilities. Reverse. Okay. Now use a reverse node. Out color of texture to input of the reverse node. So to input. And then out color of texture to input of reverse node, and an output of color of Lambert. And surely it shouldn't be purple. Let's see where these connections output to lamp. That's right. Out color to reverse one. I have followed my instructions. Okay. Bear with me. Out color of texture to the input of the reverse node. For some reason I feel like the shadow it's not really working. Anyway, what we're gonna do, we're gonna see if how we can take this positively. We're gonna select the ferns. We're gonna apply this texture. And what I'm gonna do, just for like I did with the ambient occlusion, I'm gonna make a shadow shadow pass. Yeah, here it is. Double click. 4 channels. Just wanted to see if there was any sense here, because that use transparency should enable us to work. But we'll see. Let's just give it a render. Oh look, purple. Nonetheless, the texture's working. And you can see actually where the shadow is. Maybe a little bit of work in post could help. But anyway, it's the two shadows, ambient occlusion layers, and motion vector layers, color path. And we need a color map, and that kind of gives us the same problem as well. So, really, new layer again. Color map. We need, well, don't need any lights, we just need our objects. Go back into this layer. Okay. I just want to check something. I just want to make sure that's definitely the used background shader. Yes, it is. Alright. We want to select, we need to make a new surface shader. Surface shader. Make it green. Sorry, I'm just short for time, so I'm just rushing ahead. And see, these textures have been applied. In a sense that when I give these plants, you can see the shape of the plants. That's the polygons. And that's what the actual shape of the paint effects are. But the textures that Camille have a transparency, and that's how we're getting the effect of thinner leaves within this shape. Therefore, when I apply now this surface shader of red, I will lose that input of this transparency. But we need to find a way to plug in, same as like the shadows and the ambient occlusion, which is the same problem. We need to find a way of plugging in that transparency into this surface shader, because you can easily see. Again, I could have took off the final gather and whatnot, but it was very quick anyway. See that, it's just proved my point. And this is just try and select the geometry, like to select what we're changing the color of. So we need this transparency. So if I open this, I tell you what, keep as well. Make sure that you are naming what you need so it just doesn't get too lost. Green. This is the ambient occlusion. AO. Let's just try and play. We just need to do it for this. See, this is the out color. We could see this out transparency. Maybe I could plug this into the out transparency. Let's just try this. Out transparency. What's this? This is red. We need the out transparency. Don't feel this. This could maybe work. And you can see there is some change. Not maybe what we need. It's just made them a little transparent. What we could do is effectively change this red, because they've all been, change that red instead of this green texture and make the alphas out. You use just in the alphas, then we can apply it to this texture and then it should work fine. Do that in Photoshop, but out is out transparency. See, there's nothing to. What else do we have here? At the moment, I can't see any plug in. There we go. Okay, this should work. We have some improvement. Now, I don't understand what this yellow is around, but we're nearly there. And that would improve a lot of our issues. It would solve one of our issues. I am thinking. Where's the light bump? It probably will look exactly the same. Yes. The connection's correct. The connection's correct. But I am still having this yellow surrounding. Which is still peculiar. And to be honest, it's just very trial and error. Let's plug this as well into here. No, it's still the same. Still the same yellow issue. What if this was blue? You can see immediately where I've changed them. Oh. It's this surrounding colour. And I do not know. Let's break this connection before we. Maybe it's to do with mental ray. Again, I am going blind. Oh, is that some improvement? Let's just hold that. And I tell you what, we're going to quickly go in here. Turn the final gather on. Let's turn this back down and see how it looks now. Oh, it's exactly the same. Okay, there is no improvement. Okay. It could be anything in here. Let's change this back to red. Okay, what's this? Let's break that connection. Probably makes no difference, but at the moment, you've made a slight accomplishment. And that should be it. We still have the issue with the ambient occlusion ferns. Again, it may be doing the plugin. So I'll quickly attempt this before this should be the last thing. And I'll give it a render for the entire batch and see which ones are working. And then this could be an approved tutorial or another fail. So let's apply a new texture. Another surface shade just for these ferns so that we'll just put these AO ferns. And now out color is still going to be the ambient occlusion. And obviously we can remember all of our data, but we need to go back to the iPhone and see, is that out transparency? File texture. Where is it? Light, bump. Render. Let's see how this. At the moment, it doesn't look very great. I should say 400. Okay. Out transparency is transparency. Let's see what that does. No. What we're gonna do? We're gonna delete this. AO. Bring it back. So it's the same. I am now worried. This shouldn't be bump. Okay. That concludes everything, really. I'm gonna be honest, it's been a very. Nice. It's been very beneficial for me and hopefully for you. The end product will be the test, I guess, and like I said, it will be whether it be approved or not approved. But yes, okay. I'll see you soon. Peace out.